Welcome back to another episode of Say What Needs to Be Said. I'm your host, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel, two-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowler, All-Pro, record-breaking cornerback, and the last cornerback to intercept 50 interceptions during the 16-game season era. Sunday night vibes, man, what can we say? Man, we had some exciting games today and tonight, man. We have a lot to talk about and a lot of games to discuss because the day was cranking. It was crunk today, baby. And I enjoyed myself watching these games and evaluating players and teams and things of that nature, man. So let me bring on my co-host for the night, man. Y'all tap in. Let me know where y'all coming in from. Talk to us. We talk back, man. You know, we like to have a good time with you peoples. Shout out to 233 in the building, man.
What's up, baby?
Philadelphia Eagles on.
Man, a lot of surprises today, man.
I mean, a lot of surprises, man. A lot of teams playing. Some teams playing good. Some teams aren't playing so good. Then you got players taking steps backwards instead of progressing, man. How y'all doing out there, chat? I see y'all, man. Y'all tap in where y'all let me know where y'all coming in.
Fort Myers, okay.
Who team didn't show up tonight, man, or today? Who team? Who are your team, man? Who you rooting for, man? I see y'all in the chat, man. Watching you guys from where that's Ghana? I hope that's Ghana somewhere. Yeah, man. How y'all doing? But we got to get into this, man. Ain't no manual. Shout out to no manual in the building, man. He always stand loyal to say what needs to be said. So, the Dallas Cowboys versus the Green Bay Packers. What did y'all expect, man? Who did y'all put y'all money on?
Man, I ain't gonna lie.
Man,
I expect this to be a big game for Parsons. I expected like the Green Bay Packers to walk in the A&T Stadium and be a cakewalk. It was nothing like that, man. It was nothing like that.
I guess everybody expected Michael Parsons to come in there and make a big production, have a bunch of sacks, but he's not even that type of player. I think a lot of people getting caught up in the big name and how fast he is and explosive and all those type of things. But we're gonna get into it, man. But if you don't know, and somehow you just waking up to get on Say What Needs to Be Said and miss the game, the Cowboys and the Packers went in overtime. And it was a nail biter because it went into overtime and that game ended in a tie. The score ended 40-40, kept going back and forth. The leads kept changing from the Cowboys to the Packers. Then it got to overtime and both teams ended up scoring, man. So, we didn't expect the Cowboys to be playing this good against the Packers. Jordan Love passed for 302 yards with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. Dak Prescott passed he threw for 319 yards, 3 touchdowns with no interceptions as well. Now, Josh Jacobs rushed for 86 yards on 22 carries, and Javonte Williams rushed for 85 yards on 20 carries. And Emmanuel Wilson, also for the Packers, he contributed in the running game as well. Michael Parsons is a key factor in his equation. So y'all remember these stats from these running backs and these quarterbacks. No? But I am happy for Dak Prescott, man. Let's clap it up for Dak Prescott. I am happy for Dak Prescott, man. I know, Dries, you don't want to.
I ain't clapping up for Dak.
Or anyone that has to do with the Dallas Cowboys, but I like to see people step up when their back is against the wall and everyone is talking about them. So I am happy for Dak Prescott, for him to just to step up and do what he's supposed to do, But not only did he do his part, but Dak Prescott delivered when his team needed him the most, man. When they needed him the most.
That is true.
But at first, it was looking like Dak Prescott was reverting to the old Dak Prescott from a couple of years ago on that first pass on the first series before overtime. But when he threw the ball in the dirt, like he was looking for somebody, it looked like it was a miscommunication. He was looking for the check down receiver or something like that, but it was looking like he was reverting back to the old Dak Prescott. But he got it together after that little mishap, and they took the lead. They took the lead. Dak Prescott stayed in the game, and he did his thing. Most of the Dallas Cowboys superstars was missing this game, and yet they played to win. When I say most of Dallas Cowboys superstars, I'm also including Michael Parsons. Players don't want Jerry Jones to F around and find out these big name players aren't worth a damn, and he needs to stop spending all this big cash around there for these players. He don't want players to find that out. I mean, he don't want players don't want Jerry Jones to figure that out, and he spread this around to all the owners in the NFL. Stop paying all these players, man. They're not worth it. That can happen, He must be listening to say what needs to be said. But keep spending that money, Jerry, man. We need it. We need it in the community.
Man, you see, Dak's favorite target wasn't there today. CD Lamb. CD Lamb usually get 15 targets a game, but they had George Pickens that day. George Pickens had 13 targets. Wait, no, how many targets he had that day? He had 11 targets, 8 catches with 134 yards. So that was his guy today. Like, he picks a person, he's gonna make sure that person get the ball, and that's what he did today with George Pickens. And I mean, it worked out because they was moving the ball.
Exactly. That's what I mean. These big name players, man. When you a team full of superstars isn't a recipe for success. I've been through that process. I've been on a team where it was supposed to be a team full of superstars. That is not.
You don't got to talk about that. You don't got to talk about that. You don't got to talk about that.
Man. It's not a recipe.
You don't got to talk about that.
We all know that. Man. But the Dallas Cowboys D-line, man, they had more of an impact in this game on one play. That strip sack by James Houston than Michael Parsons had that entire game, in my opinion. I know Michael Parsons saved the touchdown, but that one strip sack was a very impactful play. Michael Parsons did save that touchdown by Dak Prescott. Jerry Jones did a great job. I think Jerry Jones is still the winner in this trade with Michael Parsons, and making his team, the Dallas Cowboys, a better team. After trading Michael Parsons, I only can say that the Dallas Cowboys is a better team. And Jerry Jones is starting to wake up. Maybe Michael Parsons was a cancer on the team. He was a distraction, whatever. From us, from the fans' point of view, from what Asante Samuel sees or saw, him jumping on the podcast, stirring up controversy and stuff like that, he could definitely have been a cancer, Now, let's talk about sacks. Let's talk about defensive linemen, or just particularly defensive ends. Defensive ends, right? We talk about sacks when we're talking about defensive ends, right? How many sacks can a defensive end achieve, right? Sacks, we equate to defensive end being great by the amount of sacks he can the amount of sacks he can produce, right? But at the end of the day, those sacks, man, they can expose the truth, right? But sacks are the pride and joy of a defensive end, but we never get to see how much that player sacrificed his responsibilities on the defense for those sacks. I think Michael Parsons is a perfect example of how much he has to sacrifice to get those sacks. He never took over a game with multiple sacks. He was just a consistent 12 sack a year type of player. And he always got a lot of pressure on the quarterback, but he never was that Reggie White, that Randall, I forget his name, from Minnesota Vikings. He wasn't that type to take over the game and just dominate, where you have multiple sacks and, just screw up the whole offense, right? He was a very consistent player when it comes to getting sacked. Over 12 sacks over 16 game season, right? And like I say, we never get to hear about how many yards a defensive end gives up in the running game. One of those defensive ends that accumulates a lot of sacks. Now we see the Dallas Cowboys was a better defense against the run without Michael Parsons, and James Houston was out there making the plays that we would expect Michael Parsons to make. Clap it up for the Dallas Cowboys. They're making some strides in the right direction. I don't think it's a coincidence Dallas is playing much better against the run and having success running the football at the same time, for that matter. They're having success running the football, and they're having success stopping the run. Yeah, they're doing a better job.
Yeah, you see, like today, Green Bay Packers is trying to find the matchup, the mismatch for Michael Parsons. He's moving them in the inside, moving on the outside, just trying to find a way where you can like create some pressure. And it wasn't really working until like he didn't get a second to like literally like before overtime. So
right before overtime, man, they had Michael Parsons in check. It was like
which it wasn't really a sack. It was that play you was talking about where he saved the tackle or saved the touchdown. It was like at this line of scrimmage. It wasn't really a sack.
Right, exactly. But that's a part of Michael Parsons' game, and that's what he does. He's a hustle player. He gets sacks like that. He has a lot of speed, a lot of endurance, a lot of condition, and he that's a part of his game. He doesn't stop. He has a motor, and if you want to say that it's worth $40 million a year, then I guess so. But the game started off bad, man. The game started off so bad on defense for Dallas. It was looking like it was going to be an ugly game tonight. You know, the Dallas Cowboys diabolically left 2 wide receivers open in one part of the football field on the same football play. I mean, 2 wide receivers deep into the defense, wide open on the same play. I was like, oh shit, man. It's about to be a long night. I was like, man, it's about to be a long night. But then, you know, they got together, they got this stuff together, relaxed a little bit, you know, calmed down a little bit and started playing football. Mm-hmm. So you know, Dallas did their thing. Then we talk about Jordan Love. Jordan Love. What can I say about Jordan Love? Jordan Love is like an Allen Iverson of the football. He's a very streaky type quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes he's going to be on fire. Then other times he's like, what is he doing? You know. But Jordan Love could be a much more better quarterback than he is if he worked on his mechanics. His poor mechanics makes him miss a lot of unnecessary throws that he is missing. When he throws the ball, his goal is to throw the ball leaning back, like to avoid any contact, you know, from the pressure of the defensive line or the defense. And he isn't necessarily throwing off his back foot, but you can put it in that category, kind of like, you know, he's attempting to, like, you know, lean back when he throws the football. Mm-hmm. And he loves to throw with his feet not being set. So it's like all of his mechanics when it comes to his feet work just makes him more inaccurate than he needs to be. And I wish somebody would fix that. You know what I mean? And you never really see Jordan Love stepping up in the pocket to avoid pressure. He's always drifting, floating back, waiting to get outside of the pocket whenever he feels pressure, you know? I would like to see someone work on his mechanics, because he would be a much more accurate quarterback and a better quarterback than what he is if he can correct those little techniques and mechanic issues he had, you know? But Jordan Love was impressive when the Packers needed him most, just as Dak Prescott was. You know, the game ended in tie, 40-40. So they both did a great job. And Dak Prescott, we was expecting him to fold like he usually did, and he usually does, and he didn't. So clap it up for Dak Prescott, even though, you know, we Eagles over here, you know, I got to give credit when credit is due. I don't know if Drees is going to give credit when credit is due.
Of course. I'm gonna give credit when the credit is due. Honestly, they surprised me a lot today, man. I told you they competed today a lot, and it ended up in a tie. But you know, Dak did his thing in the overtime, got the ball first, put up 3 points, and then Jordan Love got the ball. Did you expect Jordan Love to be able to take the tie or take the or the lead at the end of the game with the ball in his hand?
Man, you know,
confident?
Are you talking about in overtime or
like, you know, like Dak went up there, they got 3 points. Or were you confident that they were gonna go get points or even take the lead?
I really was hoping for Dak Prescott them to win. I ain't gonna lie to you. But so when the Packers got the ball, I was already feeling like the Packers was going to score a touchdown and not even have to attempt the field goal. It was just the way the Dallas Cowboys defense was playing, and the secondary was just horrible. They're just playing horrific right now. You know, from any of their big name cornerbacks, the newly paid cornerbacks, they just can't get any production out of them right now. And I think that is the weak part of defense when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. So in my mind, I knew it was going to be easy for Jordan Love and the Packers to march down there and get some points on the board. I thought it was going to be seven points. So, you know, there wasn't no doubt in my mind that the Dallas Cowboys wasn't going to stop them, you know.
So it wasn't more so believing that Jordan Love can do it. It was more so of not believing that the Cowboys defense.
Exactly. From how the game was going on defense for them and how Dobbs was tearing them up and the other receivers for the Packers, I just knew, you know, it didn't have a chance. But the play of the game, man, when the Dallas Cowboys acted like they were going for it on fourth down, back on their own 30-yard line in the first half, you know, just to make Matt LaFleur waste a timeout. That was so funny to me, man. They lined up like they was going for it on fourth down, you know, and just to make the Packers waste the timeout. And Matt LaFleur, he went for it. Then Dallas punted the ball. That was too early in the game for Dallas to be that far backed up and to be going for it on fourth down. He went for the bait easy, man. That was an easy one. That's
what that was right there.
Game, man. He was playing those mind games with him right there, even though it didn't really matter because you get 3 timeouts. So Matt LaFleur wasted the timeout. You get 3 timeouts and another 3 timeouts. But it was funny, man. It's like mind control. You got to play mind games out here, man.
Man, it's chestnut checkers, man.
It's chestnut checkers, man. Now, man, we got to get into the Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Baltimore Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And we all know the Baltimore Ravens got smoked by the Kansas City Chiefs, 37-20. Patrick Mahomes threw for 270 yards and 4 touchdowns with no interceptions. Starting to get back to the old Patrick Mahomes. Now, nobody could have imagined the Baltimore Ravens would be starting the season 1-3 this season. But here we are. Is it 1-3 or 1-4?
They 1-3.
1-3. Man. Now Lamar Jackson has a very, very slim chance of making it to the playoffs to try to go ahead and win the Super Bowl. I think it's like a 14% chance, right, Dries?
Yeah,
it's like a 14.5,
chance. He started off 1-3.
You know, percent chance that he can make it to the playoff. But here's the problem, man. When Lamar Jackson is forced to pass, he will make more turnovers than usual. He won't have that great completion percentage like he's used to having. Lamar has to prove to the critics that he can lead his team to victory when they are down by a couple of scores or more. That is the issue right now for Lamar Jackson. It's like once Kansas City took a 2-possession lead, that forced the Ravens and Lamar Jackson to play catch-up football and not the normal style of ball they're used to playing, you know, but giving the ball to Derrick Henry and letting Lamar Jackson run all over the place, you know.
Derrick Henry only had 8 carries a day.
Exactly. And it had nothing to do with the previous game of him fumbling, because when they gave him the ball, he ran hard and he got some pretty good yardage, you know. I think the theme now is make the Ravens play catch-up ball and get them to keep the ball out of Derrick Henry's hands. That's the blueprint for beating the Ravens right now. Jump on them early and force Lamar Jackson in passing situations. He will create more turnovers and not be as accurate as he usually is. And that also takes the Derrick Henry and the physicality out of the running game away from the Ravens. That is how they want to play and beat everyone. But Derrick Henry, man.
with that big win, Xavier Worthy coming back, you know, Patrick Mahomes got his weapon back. Is the Chiefs back? Are they back?
I don't know if the Chiefs are all the way back, but they're trending in that towards that direction. You know, it's all on Patrick Mahomes at this point, man. You know, he got a few weapons. Xavier Worthy is okay. I don't know how, you know, what category we would put Xavier Worthy in. He has a lot of speed. I'm trying to evaluate, does he have that football speed? But he has a lot of speed, you know. But Patrick Mahomes look a lot better today. But he's, you know, he's still trying to make sure he's all the way back. But I don't know if he's ever going to get back to that Patrick Mahomes magic that he, you know, we once and used to seeing. You know, I still don't think the Chiefs will make it to the playoffs. If you're asking me, in my opinion, they still won't make it to the playoffs. But for the Ravens, man, the Ravens defense is the worst it has been since Harbaugh became the head coach. That defense has caused a lot of issues for that team, man. And they aren't able to overcome them on offense. That is the issue. The defense causing a lot of issues, and they're expecting Lamar Jackson to overcome those issues. The secondary is horrible. And you talking about Xavier Worthy, they let 170-pound Xavier Worthy literally push one of the cornerbacks down. They literally pushed him down, you know? And the Ravens aren't looking like they're going to make it to the playoffs, you know, at all, man. It's not looking good, you know, and yeah, it's not looking good.
I had a lot of hopes for the Ravens this year. I had like that's one of my like predictions, Super Bowl prediction. I had the Ravens make it to the Super Bowl, but I don't know with this team right now. They ain't been producing on offense really. With Derrick Henry not really doing much, fumbling every game, getting 40 yards a game is like that's not the Derrick Henry I'm used to seeing. And then also like Lamar Jackson as well. Cooper Rush coming in the game today playing like the damn near the second half. I mean, this ain't the Ravens I expected.
What was that all about? He has a hamstring. Lamar has a hamstring injury, but we didn't never really see him grab the back of his hamstring, you know.
I never seen him get hurt. So
sometimes you have to, you know, keep the confidence in the player. Don't keep letting them crash out, you know. And I think that was pretty much what Harbaugh them was doing over there, protecting Lamar Jackson from himself, you know. But moving forward, Lamar Jackson will be under heavy scrutiny about his capabilities as a quarterback. Can he do it? Will he ever win a Super Bowl? Can he come back from behind when Derrick Henry is obsolete? Does Lamar have the passing style needed to succeed in this league? All these will become questions in the future now. All of the questions that he was up against when he was getting drafted, pretty much. Until he proves everyone wrong, man, that would be a stigma on his name, unfortunately. And, you know, we all hope one day that Lamar Jackson can pull off a Super Bowl, man. But this year, unfortunately, will not be the year unless some miracle happens on defense and they change everything around and they figure out how to make plays and stop people on defense. Until then, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Man, the one positive is their division. I don't feel like there's nobody running away with the division right now. So that's the one positive, man. They got a bunch of division games they can get some squeezing on wins out of there because like Steelers not looking at that. I mean, Steelers got one today, but they're not looking like
all right, man. Steelers looking all right. Aaron Rodgers stepped up tonight, man, of the day out there in Dublin, man. He's kind of stepped up, looked pretty good when he ran the ball and tried to take off with it. All right, now that was a little different, but other than that, man, it was all right, man. The defense actually, you know, got back to their old ways, but we'll talk about that in a little while also, man. But now we're gonna move on to the Browns, the Cleveland Browns versus the Detroit Lions. And man, what are we dealing with when we're talking about the Cleveland Browns? Man, Cleveland Browns loses to the Lions a whopping 34-10. 24 points. The Cleveland Browns loses by. I'm going to go ahead and diagnose Kevin Stefanski and put him in an insanity category, right? I'm going ahead and put him in the insanity category, man. Kevin Stefanski, something is going on with him. You know, his expectations can't be the same as the entire coaching staff. You know what I mean? It can't be the same. Can't be. He keeps putting Joe Flacco on the field, hoping for a different result or something to change. And nothing is going to change. He is adamant that Joe Flacco will be the quarterback for the remainder of the season. He continues to support his statement about Joe Flacco will be the quarterback for the remainder of the season. It's not an issue. The quarterback situation is not an issue. Continues to say that. Joe Flacco won't even allow himself to be the starter that long, you know. But Kevin Stefanski is hoping so for some reason. Stefanski is making the Browns, his team, suffer for an older, washed-up quarterback, and it's not making any sense. Let's listen to Kevin Stefanski at his press conference, you know, this season after he loses games and hear his tone and what he has to say.
Coach our best when it mattered. I need to do a better job. It's my responsibility to get it fixed. It's my responsibility. Outcoached now. They outcoached us in every phase. We didn't do a good enough job as coaches. We're just not doing a good enough job, and that starts with me. That's coaching. That's on me, bottom line. Yeah, again, that's coaching. Put that right on me. We just have to be better. That's on me. Many sacks is that's on me. It's all of us, me. That's on me because everything that happens on that field is my responsibility. Everything. You know, I need to own a large part of that, and that falls squarely on me. Again, nobody's fault but my own. I didn't put our guys in position to succeed. It's coaches. It's all of us. We have to be better. It is 100% me. I got to put the guys in position. You know, ultimately, I got to give him better stuff, and ultimately that's on me. And I got to give those.
Kevin Stefanski, I don't know, man. That's just a little real of him, man. Maybe it's I don't know, some extra clips in there, but at the end of the day, man, it sounds like to me somebody is being protected, or Kevin Stefanski is protecting someone in Cleveland. Something is going on, and we can't figure it out. Kevin Stefanski has to be very confident in his job. In the security in his job by continuing to put Joe Flacco on the field and continuing to lose. Joe Flacco barely contributed to the win, the only win that the Browns have. He barely contributed. Small things like making Joe Flacco take snaps from under the center instead of the shotgun is slowing the Browns offense down. Y'all don't watch little stuff like that, do y'all? Little things, the little things like that. When he takes the snap from the center, do you see how slow Flacco is coming from under that center? When he drops back for a pass or play action, it takes him like half a second to get the ball and turn around from the center when he's going for
he looking like a true old man out there, huh?
Yeah, he looks like a tall, limbsy tree, like, you know, and it's hard for him to move. You know, he barely has enough time to get the ball out of his hand when he drops back the pass from under the center because it takes him so much time. You know, Joe Flacco doesn't want to be under the center. He doesn't want to be out there, period. He want to be on the headphones, listening to the play calls and mentoring these younger quarterbacks. And if I was a diehard Cleveland Browns fan, man, I would be in distress. I would be raising hell, just straight distress. Because there is no way Kevin Stefanski can have that much confidence in Dillon Gabriel to not put him on the football field. And he was the first quarterback taken in the draft on this team. There's no way he cannot be that confident in Dillon Gabriel to not put him on the field. Something is going on. Why is he putting Dillon Gabriel on the field? Earlier than, you know, when it's a minute left in the fourth quarter. This team isn't winning any games, and the offense is the big part of the problem. There's a lack of production, particularly from the passing department, passing the football from the Browns. That is the reason the Browns are losing, because they can't pass or get any production from the quarterback. And there is only one reason, man, I can think of. Kevin Stefanski is hesitant to put Dillon Gabriel on the football field. And we all know what that reason is.
What's that?
he don't want Shedeur Sanders to have to come in and show Dillon Gabriel up. That the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Because soon as Dillon Gabriel get on the field, is hopefully he does good. Hopefully he produces, and that you don't need another quarterback. But as soon as things don't go so good for Dillon Gabriel, everyone is going to be asking for Shedeur Sanders. This is just the same way we're asking for Dillon Gabriel, because they don't have a secure quarterback situation in Cleveland. So until then, you have to figure out who is the best fit for the job. But Kevin Stefanski refuses to do that, and something is saying he's protected, or he's being protected, or he's protecting someone, because this is not the normal way to go about it when you have a 40-year-old quarterback and 2 newly drafted rookies on the team. I don't care if they the 4th round and in the 7th round. You understand? It's just Joe Flacco just have no future as a quarterback in the NFL right now. That's just the way it goes. Yeah, it's just the way it goes.
Last week when they named Jackson Dart their starter for this week, and I'm like, is it going to put some pressure on the Browns to change the quarterback? I think at that time it didn't, but I think now after seeing Jackson Dart go out there and perform, I think it's going to put some more pressure on the Browns right now. Like, look, they did it. Like, let us do it now.
it's like what what could happen for us if we made the switch? You know, it couldn't get no worse than the situation we're already in. You know, that's how they probably looking at it and have to think. But that makes me think, it's just like, why are you not taking that chance or given the opportunity to see what the potential may be when it comes to the quarterback for your team, a new quarterback for your team? It just not, it doesn't make any sense. Well, that's why I keep scratching my head, and everyone, continues to talk about the Browns and the quarterback situation, because, it's just not making no sense to nobody. At all. But speaking of Jackson Dart, man, the New York Giants took on the Los Angeles Chargers, right? And the New York Giants beat the Los Angeles Chargers today, 21-18. Another surprise. Another surprise. It's only 2 teams remaining that are undefeated right now. And, of course, that is the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Buffalo Bills. The Los Angeles Chargers lost today, so they are no longer undefeated. And they so happen to lose to Jackson Dart and the New York Giants. And there's a new man in charge. There's a new man in charge in New York. Jackson Dart, man. Jackson Dart is bringing that swag back to New York, man. If y'all didn't see him, man. He's forward, man. He's juking left and right, man. He's bringing that young mentality, man, that young, energetic swag back to New York, man. Exactly what they need, man. And his confidence is growing now as an NFL quarterback after beating the Chargers. A really good defense. I'm not going to say great, but a really, really good defense. So his confidence has to be growing, and he has to be itching, ready to get out there on the field for the next game, to see what he's capable of. Dart didn't have a lot of production, but he moved the football down the field, when it was time to. Brian Daboll, the head coach, he didn't give Jackson Dart too much to handle on offense because he understands what he is dealing with as a rookie. And Brian Daboll is the perfect coach to develop a young quarterback and, groom them correctly, not giving them too much on their plate too fast or too early. That is who Brian Daboll is, man. Brian Daboll is a great quarterback whisperer, man. And, man, he did it with Josh Allen, and not just because it's Josh Allen. He also did it with Daniel Jones. He shouldn't have drafted Daniel Jones, but, Daniel Jones, he made Daniel Jones look good at times in his career. Daniel Jones is doing pretty good right now in Indianapolis. So who knows? Maybe Daniel Jones was a good quarterback. Only time will tell, But what I like about Jackson Dart is I like his decisiveness, man. I like that he's decisive in his decision making. When there's a play call and whatever his read is, if it's there, he's going to take a quick look at it, look at the next read. And if it's not there, he makes a quick read and take off with his feet. And, that's how they won the football game. Quick reads, and then he uses his leg. Right now, man, he's still a little young and dumb and trying to, be the hero of the game. But he will learn to get down and not take those crazy hits. If y'all seen, man, he got punished running the football tonight or the day. And he stayed down there for a minute. I know he felt the effects of that hit, man.
he gonna feel it in the morning too when he wake up tomorrow.
Young energetic swag, man. He was starting to feel himself, you know. And oh, poor Russell Wilson, man. I don't know. I hope Russell Wilson he pivots and finds another career after football and decides to give it up, because when Russell Wilson came in the game, man, as a backup, man, it didn't feel right and it didn't look right, man. And it just, Russell Wilson being a backup quarterback just feels and look awkward. And that crew the other night, man, you know, they was clowning Russell Wilson, saying he just played himself right out of the Hall of Fame, man. I think that was unprofessional. I think that was ugly. I think it was kind of distasteful, and it was just unnecessary, man. I hate how all these people could get on these mics and speak about the Hall of Fame like they know what it takes to get in the Hall of Fame, and there is no criteria for what it takes to get into the Hall of Fame. It's like disgusting that these people think they know what it is to be the Hall of Fame because some people think they're Hall of Fame or they were selected to the Hall of Fame. No one knows what it takes to get a Hall of Fame. Everyone is guessing, like, unless the Pro Football Hall of Fame tells someone in the media and then they spread it around, but no one knows. Why wouldn't Russell Wilson be a Hall of Famer as a quarterback, a two-time Super Bowl champion? You understand? He threw for, you know, a good amount of yards. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer, right? Everyone would consider Aaron Rodgers as a Hall of Famer. He only won one Super Bowl. So if they want to, you know, if you want to be technical, man, why wouldn't Russell Wilson be a Hall of Famer? Then at the same time, when they say these things and try to make these hot takes and clown other players, they give no context to why they saying these type of things. They give no stats, no different accolades of why the reason that this player wouldn't be a Hall of Fame and so on and so forth. They just like to spew this nonsense and, you know, just carry on like, you know, like some immature adults. I guess that's what you would call it. You know, when you say something, mean what you say, and then have some something factual to back it up. You know, don't be up, you know, just around here talking to talk. Yeah, you can talk to have fun, but don't talk on a big platform and try to discredit someone and make them look bad when it's totally unnecessary. Maybe he's playing because he needs to continue to make money and provide for his family. Who knows why he's playing? You understand what I'm saying? But don't, you know, say he's out here not going to the Hall of Fame anymore because he wants to play and this is his livelihood. That makes no sense, man. People be out here tripping sometimes and get beside itself. Before y'all start talking about the Hall of Fame and calling the player he played himself out of the Hall of Fame or he's not a Hall of Famer, make sure you know what the criteria is to get in the Hall of Fame. Y'all be out here clowning and y'all look like the clown because y'all doing their job. They should be providing a criteria for what it takes to get in the Hall of Fame, and then y'all sitting up here talking about someone is not a Hall of Famer, and y'all don't even know what it takes to get in the Hall of Fame. How stupid does that sound? Everyone says he's not a Hall of Famer, he's a Hall of Famer, he's not a Hall of Famer, but none of y'all know what it takes to get the Hall of Fame. That is just foolish. Everyone, no one knows, but everyone still talks about like they know what it takes to get in the Hall of Fame. Stupidness. It's just stupidness. Man.
You remember who said it?
Huh?
You remember who said it?
Yeah, I think it was Tony Gonzalez. My ex-teammate was Richard Sherman. It was during the Thursday night cast, I think, right? When did the Giants play last? It was Thursday night or Monday night. It was one of those nights, man. And yeah, they was just clowning Russell Wilson, man, because you know, things didn't look the same. He didn't look that good.
Right.
But you know, the Chargers took the first loss of the season, you know, surprisingly to the Giants. Everybody was surprised, and you know, the defense played a really good game for the Giants. That was the surprise of the game. They got a front four, man, that can get after the quarterback. They can get after the quarterback. So Jackson Dart is going to continue to develop. Dayball is going to continue to groom and develop him in the right manner. And I think Jackson Dart he might have that it factor. He definitely has the confidence, and he's not scared to make any throw or take chances out there on the football field. So you got to give credit to Jackson Dart for uplifting his team with energy and his play today, because if Russell Wilson would have took the field as a starter, that game wouldn't have went how it went because, Russell Wilson energy and that young energy is out there, man. It's like I said, it's young and dumb right now. He don't even understand what he's getting himself into, when he's running down the football field. So,
but it carries over to the team though, man. They see him out there feeling himself with the swag and all that stuff like you mentioned, and it carried over to the whole team. Like that D line. That D line is crazy, and it like literally carry over to them when they gonna get after the quarterback and help them get some wins. So
exactly,
it's good to see that.
Like that. Think about it like that, man. If I'm not feeling, as up for this game as I usually do, but then I got my young rookie quarterback out there giving it his all, and now, man, he's getting me motivated. He's reinciting my love for the game, man, and wanting to win and things like that. So that's what, energy and gets contagious out there on the football field, and winning is always the common goal, and everyone wants to win. So there is nothing to argue about when everyone is on the same page trying to get that victory,
And you getting that crowd, involved. They feeling it too, man. They bringing the noise now,
energy, all that stuff, man, starts to factor in. So I don't know, man. Maybe the Giants end up being a factor, within these the Dallas Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Washington Commanders. So we'll see, man. Maybe the things just got interesting in the NFC East. I don't know. We'll see.
I know the Giants fans excited, man. They was hitting me up all day, like, so the Giants fans are excited, man. They give them some hope.
Exactly. It made everyone excited, not just the team, not just the players on the team excited, like the whole city, the whole fan base. That's what it does. That energy is contagious. It doesn't just sit right there with Jackson Dart, man. It spreads around, and then he feels everybody rooting for him and wanting him to succeed. That's just more reason for him to go out there and do his best. So we'll see, man. So we're only on week 4, week 5, and we'll see. But now, man, we get to the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another pretty good game, man. And the Eagles pulled this one off.
Let's go.
Pretty close game. What was the score in this game right here?
It was 30. I think it was 31-24.
31-24, 31-25. It was one of those scores. 31-24, man. Philadelphia Eagles
31-25.
31-25. Yeah, I got it right. Yeah, man. How you gonna let me get it right over you, man? Philadelphia Eagles.
I was at the game today too, man. So remember last week I talked about not last week, but the week before last, I was at the Chiefs game and it was so loud. Tampa Bay was the complete opposite. It was third down and they had the board up there like make some noise. It was like you could hear the pin drop. It was like
yeah, man. It's hard to get these Florida fan bases like these other cities and stuff like that, man. It's hard to make a diehard Florida fan base. We're a little different down here, so
it might have been the heat, man.
Don't expect like the same type of atmosphere you expect in these other cities and these other stadiums. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I definitely was like, man, I don't understand how people play football in Florida. Like, it's just so hot. Like, and you could even see the defense in like the second half. They walking around, the hands on their hip with their heads down. Like, yo, this heat is different. Like, I don't know if y'all know, but Florida has like a home field advantage playing in that heat. It's a different level. I don't think people understand how hot it is in Florida.
Definitely, man. It's definitely hot, and it ain't getting no cooler too. It's getting nothing but hotter. But yeah, it was even advantage against me playing for the New England Patriots, having to come down here and play against the Miami Dolphins. After I leave the Florida heat and the Florida weather, and now I'm acclimated to the New England weather and things like that. Now I got to come back and play the Miami Dolphins. Man, it was so hot and exhausting. I mean, I didn't feel the same. It was hard for me to catch my breath. It was, like you said, it became an advantage for the Miami Dolphins because I didn't know how to deal with it. I wasn't able to play consistent, meaning like the system amount of plays that I'm used to playing had to come out of the field from time to time, periodically, and things like that. So yeah, man, the Florida Heat is definitely something to be reckoned with, man. Something to be reckoned with. But yeah, man, another game with Jalen Hurts passes for less than 200 yards and gets the victory. Clap it up for Jalen Hurts.
No.
I think he passed for 0 passing yards in the second half.
Man, one thing you gotta do, you gotta make sure AJ Brown. They gotta make sure AJ Brown get the ball, man. Like,
yeah, I think it's kind of hard, man. But yeah, man, I think yeah, it's just about winning, man. And but passing for 0 passing yards can get really tricky and a little scary, man. And there's something they need to jump on before it get too late. But at the end of the day, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm a big believer in that. And Saquon Barkley has been quiet this season, and they need to get him going a little bit. And eventually he's going to get going. You know, he's getting the carries, but he's not getting the yards so far. Those big plays we used to seeing Saquon Barkley get. Hopefully during December and January, he will be back to making those big plays when the Eagles need him the most. So, you know, don't worry about that. He'll be there. You know, the Eagles are just an all-around good team in every aspect of the football game. You know, they may have some weak spots, but even the weak spots are strong compared to other teams in the league. There isn't a blueprint to beating the Philadelphia Eagles. If a team wants to play physical, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to play physical. You are playing the Philadelphia Eagles game. And if you're trying to stop the Philadelphia Eagles passing attack, that ain't going to do nothing but open up the run for Saquon Barkley or Jalen Hurts. And if the opponent wants to pass, you got to watch out for the pass rush. Jalen Carter. And also the tight coverage, you know, with probably one of the best secondaries in the NFL right now. Just like Baker Mayfield did today. If you want to compete against the Eagles, the quarterback will need to make those broken down plays to get that big yardage. You know, like I said, just how Baker Mayfield did. If the team wants to win, if your team wants to win against the Eagles, tell him to run around and hope for some broken down plays and he can make a big play. Because if you want to line up man to man, mano y mano, and think you're going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, you don't have a chance. That defense is too big, too fast, and too strong to deal with. That is the strong point of the team. Everybody knows that. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, along with Blankenship, man, they shut the Buccaneers passing game down pretty much by themselves. Them three. Just them three.
Yo, Quinyon Mitchell is a different man from last year. He just carry himself. You talk about that swag earlier. He got that swag now. Like, he out there knocking down passes, getting up, talking his trash. Before he was quiet. Like, he ain't do none of that before. He a whole different man now. Like this me now. Like, that's what
all
I do.
it takes is a year, man. You grow from a rookie, man. Then that's what you want to see, that progression, that growth, man. And you don't want to see that they peaked out. And that's what you see. You've seen it instantly, the growth in Quinyon Mitchell instantly today, you know. And like I talked about with Cooper DeJean, I don't know, I'm probably saying the name wrong. And Quinyon Mitchell, old Coop, and Blankenship, you know, they had to defend at least half the passes from Baker Mayfield today. And I like that matchup, man. I like, you know, the Eagles matching Quinyon Mitchell up, man. They matching him up with Emeka Ibuka, and he took him out of the game. I would have loved that I would love for that have been Mike Evans, but unfortunately Mike Evans was hurt, so they had to put Quinyon Mitchell on Emeka Ibuka, and he took him out of the game pretty much. You know, and Baker Mayfield had 289 yards passing, right? But don't let those passing yards fool you.
He had the two big plays.
Most of those yards came off of two broken plays, and those two broken plays went for 150 yards. One of the pass plays, 77 yards, went to Buka, and then it was another one for like 70-some yards went to
Bucky Irvin.
Yeah, Bucky Irvin.
Running back out the backfield.
And all those plays was off of broken down plays. So like I said, if you want to beat the Eagles, you have to hope for something like that to happen, because lining up mano y mano is going to be very, very hard to win.
Honestly, all the Buccaneers points came today off of like penalties where it was like a drive. They gave up like 2 15-yard penalties. They got 30 yards. They was automatically in field goal range. Got a field goal off of that. And then another time also they got the taunting penalties. I don't know if you like how you feel about those taunting penalties that been happening. Because sometimes you make a good tackle, you get up and you like celebrate. It's like flag taunting. I'm like,
it's like sometimes you're getting up.
No more.
It's like you're getting up to stand up and celebrate, and you don't even realize you're close or over the person. So I think it's just a way for them to look like they're enforcing rules and throwing flags left and right and things like that. I don't know, man, but yeah, they don't want that stigma on the league that you got these type of guys and players out here, promoting whatever X, Y, and Z. So I just sent
you the video of you when you had the big hits, and when you had the big hits, you did like that. That's a flag down. You can't do that no more.
But I would walk away real slow, man. But like I said, I'm just standing up posing. He just happened to be right there. What do you want me to do? I gotta walk 5 steps to the left and then do my pose. I can't even think. I can't even think that fast. Too much adrenaline going on, man.
Yeah. So. But not even this game, man. Just that taunting penalty, and like you see in multiple games, is like, damn, you can't get excited no more for making a big play.
Yeah. But let me tell you, man, you want to know how you know when your team has a really, really good defense? I just thought about that today. When you realize your team has a really good defense, when the opposing team is forced to kick a 65-yard field goal or so.
Oh, yeah, he made that too.
He made it. But when your team has to kick a 65-yard field goal, that means that other team is hard to beat. The team they playing against is hard to beat. So that right there tells me a defense is really good because you're forced to kick a 65-yard field goal. Then, yeah, that's what you're doing, man. So, yeah, man, that's another thing you have to have in your arsenal if you want to beat the Eagles. You need to have a field goal kicker that can kick it at least 55 yards consistently or better, 55 to 60. So, but back to Quinyon Mitchell, man, he was giving Mika Buka that business, man. He gave Mika his introduction to the NFL. But if Mike Evans was there, man, I don't know. It probably would have been the same scenario. I don't think that the results would have been different, but it would have been interesting. I don't see anything different in Mike Evans than we see in Mika Buka as far as, his speed, route running, athleticism, and things like that. But Mike Evans is just going to go get that ball when the ball is in the air.
For real.
But Tampa defense, man, they was just as physical as the Eagles defense for most part of the game, right? And they matched the Eagles' intensity, the Eagles' defense intensity. So, they did compete well, and it was funny because Tampa Bay committed their entire defense to the tush push when they thought the tush push was coming, and they wasn't worried about covering anything else. That was so funny to me. It's like, let's line up for that. I know what they call that defense. It's like, all right, tush push on 3, tush push on 3, 1, 2, 3, tush push. And everybody line up for the tush push because the tush push is coming. His defensive coordinator and all the coaches told him they don't run no other play other than the tush push when they line up in this formation. So you stop the tush push, everybody hit their gap, and what do you know? An audible off the tush push. Nobody is even in sight, not even close to touching the Saquon Barkley on that play. He walked into the end zone because the tush push demands so much attention.
I think that should have went to AJ Brown. I think they should have handed off to AJ Brown because AJ Brown with the ball so bad. Saquon don't care if you get the ball or not. AJ Brown with the ball.
Satisfy your players, man. Sometimes you got to do that, man. I agree with you. Sometimes you got to satisfy your players. To keep the bad blood and things like that. Keep it cool in the locker room and things, But I kind of see AJ Brown's body language, and it doesn't look the same all the time. I'm just gonna say it like that. But he deals with situations how he deals with it. And I know he used to getting the ball, and I know he wants to get the ball, even though the Eagles are winning. It has to really bother him that he's getting those stats that he wants to have, and he dream of being in the history books and things like that, and he see all his other peers and catching for all these yards, and he understands that he is a impact player, but he just can't get the ball because how the Eagles win is just not a normal way of winning. They win by the team effort. And, that's just the sacrifice that A.J. Brown has to be willing to deal with.
Yeah, I don't know if they showed it on TV, but they had a play where they had Smitty on the lead block and then A.J. Brown catching a screen, and he got tackled as soon as he got the ball. He took the ball and threw the ball like 30 yards backwards. Like, he was like frustrated. I don't know if they could see that on TV, but like you could see how frustrated he was. Like, why am I getting why are we doing this play? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And that's I'm saying, man. No one really understands who A.J. Brown is and how he carries himself around the team with the coaches when he's not getting the ball. And even though he understands the offense, isn't going to open up and be that passing attack that he probably wants it to be. Who knows how he acts in how it really bothers him behind the scenes. But he probably never going to talk about it unless it's years down the line when he's far removed away from the Eagles and things like that. But A.J. Brown, man, just keep working, man. Keep pushing, man. Everything gonna work out, man. But back to the tush push, man. From what I seen today, that little wrinkle, what they had, the audible on that tush push, everybody lining up on the tush push. And now you see another play coming off the tush push when nobody can't stop the Eagles from doing the tush push. As soon as the season is over, the owners will be rushing to ban the tush push from the NFL, the league. They can't handle that. That is too much for any defense to have to deal with, to worry about stopping the tush push. And now you have to worry about other wrinkles of the play, not just the tush push. How can a team possibly stop that? That's too much to deal with. So expect this to be the last season of seeing the tush push. You better take some pictures, ask Jalen Hurts to sign it. Go around, find the Eagles offensive lineman and sign and get you some signed jerseys or anything, because the tush push will be no more. But let's talk about cornerbacks, the top cornerbacks in the NFL right now. And man, let me tell you, the top cornerbacks right now in the NFL, they may surprise you. And don't just listen to everyone saying that everyone is a great cornerback and things like that. It's about four. It's a four-way tie right now for the top cornerback spot this season. It's a four-way tie for the top cornerback spot in this season. And let's go through the top corners right now. If y'all have an opinion and think y'all know a little something about cornerback and know who the top cornerbacks may be, y'all go ahead and spit them out, man. Y'all talk back to me, man. But first, you got Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell locking down, man. Everyone is a lockdown corner. And then you got Derek Stingley Jr. Got Quinyon Mitchell, then you got Derek Stingley Jr. Then you got Keyshawn Nixon from the Green Bay Packers. Oh, man, he playing lights out. Then we all know you got Patrick Surtain II. Four corners battling for the top spot right now, man. And all of these corners, they are playing outstanding when it comes to locking their man up and preventing them from catching the ball. But one of these cornerbacks can separate themselves from the bunch with, getting their hands on the ball, meaning some more interceptions, putting more interceptions on that resume. That's how they can separate themselves. Right now, everyone kind of looks the same. Lockdown, stopping the receiver from catching the ball. Not too many picks this season, but it's a little early right now. It's a little early. So, we got to keep our eyes on these players and the production at the cornerback spot to see who's going to end up being the number one corner. It's not, it doesn't automatically go to the person who won last year. In the NFL, it's about what have you done for me lately? And Keyshawn Nixon from the Green Bay Packers is a big surprise, but he is not giving up much each and every week, along with the other corners. I watch him closely, man. He is playing ball, man. Top-notch ball. So,
Man, Quinion could have had an interception today, but he like knocked the ball down instead of like going for interception. It was like coming straight to him on the outside, but he like just put his body in it to block the ball. I'm like, man, you turn around, you get an interception.
Yeah. Everyone, man, it's hard to develop that skill. You have to really put a lot of time and work into understanding how to intercept the football and the angles and how to time it up perfectly, so on and so forth. And Quinion Mitchell, he plays a lot of press coverage. Press coverage is, one of the hardest techniques to be able to get interceptions. Most interceptions you see come from cornerbacks playing off coverage when they're able to read the quarterback's eyes and his arm and being able to break on the football. So he will get more hands on the football, and he will find a way to get interceptions. So he gonna keep being a dog and keep balling. Just stop grabbing sometime, man. I know that panic mode. I know how that feels, man. It's like, oh man, they got to step on me. Please don't throw it. Come here, boy. They call those little petty holes on us for some reason, man. It doesn't even restrict the receiver half the time from doing whatever they have to do. But as soon as they see a little piece of the shirt tear or anything, they're ready to throw the flag. That's the cue to throw the flag.
Well, I heard that Edelman said that, like the Edelman, Belichick tell him wear the color of the jersey, so you can't tell you holding.
Right. Yeah. That type of stuff, man. But yeah, man, like we said, man, the Steelers versus the Vikings, man. The Steelers look pretty good today, man. They look like a pretty good team. I can't lie. Aaron Rodgers is playing at a high level right now. He's playing at a high level. But I'd be surprised if he had that same type of energy when it comes to week 13 and week 14. He isn't in the same condition and in shape like he was 10 years ago, and he can play through a season through the breeze with the breeze. Nowadays, at his age, this long season, a lot of wear and tear starts to catch up with him. That's when you would see him starting to break down, not care no more, revert back to the old Aaron Rodgers ways, look for all the attention, start doing these weird things, and that's when shit started hit the fan for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I don't know, man. They could compete for the AFC North right now. It was different playing for the Jets. The Jets is like, they ain't had no chance, but now on the Steelers, they got a chance to be in first place over there in the AFC North. So
yes, when they win first place, it'll be December, and that'll be like week 13 and 14. And then after they win first place, you start seeing Aaron Rodgers go downhill, like that's how it happens, man. If these old quarterbacks are in the game when make it to the NFC Championship or AFC Championship, I'd be very surprised, man. But anything can happen. Anything can happen. But right now,
they talk about that's my guy right there.
He's playing good, huh?
Courtney Miller, he brought up Isaiah Rodgers for the Vikings. He said,
"Yeah, Isaiah Rodgers, man, he showed up, man.
That's my guy right there, man.
2 weeks in a row, and I heard Howie, man. Howie always talk about Isaiah Rodgers being one of the players that you regret you let go, and he ended up being a superstar on another team. He's like, man, as a general manager, as a talent evaluator, you never want that to happen. So shout out to Isaiah Rodgers, man, and keep balling, man. The Philadelphia Eagles definitely missed it, man.
That's a Florida boy right there.
Florida boy, man. Yeah, definitely. Florida boy. But the Vikings marched down the field from their 5-yard line on the Steelers during the 2-minute drill for a 33-yard field goal. And it was too easy, right? With the backup quarterback. Even though Wentz is better than J.J. McCarthy, they let the Vikings march all the way down the field from the 5-yard line during the 2-minute drill. And that's not like the Steelers, man. That's not like the Steelers. But, it wasn't J.J. McCarthy. They would have let J.J. McCarthy do that. Went crazy. But I'm talking about this one series, but the Steelers did bounce back and they look better than they have previously in these previous weeks. And defense has been horrible. And if Justin Jefferson didn't fall, on that pass play right before the half during the 2-minute drill, they probably would have scored another touchdown. But they didn't score the touchdown, and the Steelers looked pretty good. But second half, woo, man, that second half, Vikings, man, Carson Wentz, and he was struggling, man. And the offense had a hard time getting anything going. But the Steelers got back to their old usual ways, and the defense didn't give up a 100-yard rusher. So that's another plus for the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of people are disappointed in the Pittsburgh Steelers defense and how they're playing these days because traditionally it doesn't look good at all. So they did sack Carson Wentz 6 times, man. So that was a plus. Even though Carson Wentz threw for 350 yards, they sacked him 6 times. That was a big deal. That was a big deal. Against the Seahawks, the Steelers gave up 105 yards rushing to one player, Kenneth Walker the third, on 13 carries. That's an 8.1 yard per carry average, and 295-yard passing in that same game. And against the Jets, the Steelers gave up 107 yards rushing on 19 carries to Breece Hall. So when the Steelers played the Panthers, they gave up 171 yards overall rushing as a committee. So it was good to see the rushers get back on track today and, get back to their old ways because things was getting a little out of control. And defense stepped up today like they needed it to. Still some things they need to fix in the secondary because the secondary, like I said, let Carson Wentz throw for 350 yards, man. And that's never good. Any defense or any secondary you're playing for, you don't want that on your jacket. But did y'all see that interception by number 42, James Pierre, towards the end of the game? Do y'all think that was an interception? No, you didn't see it, Dries?
No, I ain't see the play, no.
Oh, man, did anyone see that interception towards the end of the game by 42, James Pierre? He was robbed for that interception, man. I know, man. Y'all don't understand how hard it is to come by interceptions, especially a player that doesn't accumulate a lot of interceptions. That has to be heartbreaking, man. That was clearly a catch. At first, he caught the ball and, kind of stumbled, but then he finally secured the ball, dragged his feet, got 2 feet in bounds, had full control of the football, and they didn't give him the pass. They called it an incomplete pass. And boy, I can tell you, man, I know he is still thinking about that pass and that play, even though, Carson Wentz and the Vikings didn't succeed after that. They still had a turnover, and the Pittsburgh Steelers still won. It's like, man, I still want my interception, man, at the end of the day. So,
right. Is Carson Wentz the man for the Vikings, or do they go back to JJ when you're healthy?
Now, I think they're done with JJ McCarthy, man. Something about him, man. I don't even know if he's really injured. Sometimes these athletes mysteriously end up hurt because, you're a first-round pick, and I have to put you on the football field. And the only way I can stop from putting you on the football field without causing any distractions and things like that is I have to say he suffered an injury during the game because instead of saying I'm benching you, that's the kind of the tactics they're playing with these quarterbacks and things like that. But Colorado played late last night, and I wasn't able to thug it out last night. Colorado versus BYU. So let's get into it, man. Colorado Buffaloes loses to BYU 24-21 after blowing a 14-point first quarter lead and only scoring 7 points since that first quarter. The problem is Coach Prime is struggling to find an identity for his team. When Colorado's opponents get ready to play against Colorado, there is no particular player on defense or offense that is considered a major threat who needs to be stopped. I see Colorado is trying to establish running game, which you should. Gotta be able to run the football. But they can't run the football consistent. Caden Salter hasn't established a go-to receiver in the passing game to make a defense have to focus on that one player. There's no identity. There's no identity running the football, passing the football, anything.
Uh-huh.
Caden is looking to run the football first and pass second. That's what's screwing up the offense. Coach Prime is frustrated, man. Coach Prime is frustrated. He doesn't understand where the dog's at and why these players can't step up. Coach Prime can see that these are simple mistakes his quarterback is making, and it is hurting his team. Let's get into it.
Opportunities. We just didn't make it happen. If you slow down and you watch the film, you're going to see tremendous opportunities. We just didn't make it happen. And that's unfortunate because you go over and over those same situations at practice all darn week, and you see it happening. It's the same defense. It's not like you were tricked or anything. It was there. We just didn't make it happen.
Yeah, that's a lot of frustration in that.
You heard him. You seen him. What he said, man. You can look at the film. You'll see there are several opportunities, and we just didn't make it happen. We just can't make it happen. And he's talking to one person. He's talking about one person. But I see the issue I see, man, with this team compared to last season is two very impactful players can compensate for a lack of talent on that team. But one of those players must be the quarterback. At this time last season, Colorado was 4-1 with Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter on the team. Colorado should have easily won that game against BYU, but fell short. Caden Salter is a big part of the problem on offense, man. That offense can't get into a rhythm because of Caden's style of play. He isn't running the offense as a passing quarterback. The offense looks like they are playing background football the way Caden runs their offense and run around the football field trying to make something happen. When he should be getting the ball out of his hands quickly and on a timing basis, you know? If Caden was more patient in the pocket and went through his progression, that offense would be much, much, much more productive than they are with him at quarterback. Caden rushed for 49 yards on 17 carries. 49 yards on 17 carries. That has to be like a 2.9 or a 3.0 per
2.9
per average rush, you know? Not good at all. Some plays were design runs while, others he looked to get out of the pocket where he feels comfortable at. He wanted to get out of the pocket, for every time pretty much.
He had the most carry.
I'm sure the coaching staff and the offensive coordinator, Pat Shermer, the quarterback coach, aren't teaching him to do that. But that's the style of play he used to playing and he wants to play. But, Caden made a statement with that first possession of the game. It was looking all good. The style of play, how he likes to play everything was looking good. In the second possession, Colorado looked good running the football. But that was just on the second possession. On defense, Bear Bachmeier, BYU's quarterback, man, he bounced around on that pocket, man, and he kept escaping Colorado's pressure by the D-line. I don't know how it was. It was like he was playing, it was like Bear was literally bouncing around like in the pocket like he was one of them arcade games, like a foosball type game.
Pinball machine.
Yeah, like the pinball machine. Bear Bachmeier, man, he looked like he was bouncing off the D lineman like it was the pinball machine, and they couldn't never find where he was at. And then he was always end up in open territory, about to get the first down, right? It's like, man, it's hard to get Bachmeier down, man.
Yeah.
But that is exactly who Bachmeier reminds me of, man. He reminds me of a Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow, that's who Bachmeier reminds me of. A more accurate, good passing college Tim Tebow, not the NFL Tim Tebow. That's who Bear Bachmeier reminds me of, man. And one day, Bear Bachmeier will be a top 10 draft pick in the NFL. I'm telling you, he's a really good player, man. Really, really good player, man. Don't slip on
top 10?
Top 10. He can get it done. He doesn't look like the prototypical type quarterback and things like that, but he has good size, good strength. He's big. He's efficient with the football, and he's gonna make it happen, man. I like his game. But for Coach Prime, man, those close games, man, that I lost by a field goal or less, man, when your team had a 2-score lead, are the games that make a coach stressed out the most. You know, BYU was a very, very beatable team for Colorado. A team that Colorado should have beat. But Bear Bachmeier, he was the difference for BYU for sure, man. Colorado didn't have an answer for him. Like I say, man, he reminds me of Tim Tebow. It's exactly like a Tim Tebow. Same type of muscle build and height and size and everything. You know,
is BYU a conference game? Was that a conference game?
Yeah, it's definitely a conference game. They're in the Big 12 together, man. So it's not looking good for Colorado in the Big 12. You know, and Colorado has more talent athletic-wise than BYU from what it looks like, you know. And they couldn't get it. Colorado couldn't get the talent to take over the game, right? But Colorado has more talent, so I don't know, man. Colorado got a fast start in that game, but they couldn't close the game. And that was usually the problem for Colorado. It was hard for Colorado to get out there fast and jump on teams, but they finally got a fast start, but they couldn't close out in the game. That's another stain on Colorado's identity, being able to start fast or finish games, right? Either they are able to, they can't do both of them at the same time, you know. And this game should have been a game to get Colorado going back in the right direction, you know, like that get back on track game, you know.
It's definitely a game they needed to win, man. They want to compete for the Big 12. They want to make a playoff run and make it to the playoffs. That's one of the games they got to finish off, especially with having a 14-point lead. So I know that's all you can see the frustration in Coach Brown's face. Like, we needed this one, man, and we had it.
Yeah, that's exactly, man. Those close games, when you have a lead, it gets very frustrating and it's very stressful because you're trying to figure out an answer to solve the problem. And it's like, where is the answer? You know, that's why you said, man, you'll see all the opportunities are there. We just have to make the plays and go out and take advantage of the opportunities. And he's basically saying no one is doing that on the team, or a couple of players isn't doing that. But at the end of the day, Caden is doing exactly what he did at Liberty University. But that style just isn't benefiting the offense for the University of Colorado. But that's who he is. That's who he was on tape, you know. And it's just unfortunate that style isn't working out, you know. And yeah, man, we're gonna see how does Coach Prime get back to the drawing board and what they do next, and all the coaching adjustments that team makes to, you know, hopefully get a win against a top opponent and not against a Delaware and you know those smaller schools and things like that. So we got to see, man. We got to.
It's all Big 12 play coming up now, so they gonna have to work.
Yeah, man. They're gonna have to work, man. There's no more easy opponents coming up, but BYU was definitely a good opponent to get back on track or get a victory on, and somehow, some way, man, it couldn't pull it off, man. It couldn't pull it off. So, you know, until next time, man, Coach Prime, we're gonna see. We're gonna continue to support Coach Prime, man. Hopefully, you know, figure out how to get a victory. We all knew, man, this will be an issue one day, him trying to adjust to a new quarterback or find someone to replace Shedeur Sanders, because Shedeur Sanders is really capable of a lot of things at quarterback. And it shows now that Colorado, you know, can't replace him that easy. And the NFL, for some reason, you know, they didn't want to draft him where his talents, you know, said he should have been drafted, and you know, they want to put him in this box and treat him like whatever they treat him like for whatever reason, man. But hopefully one day he get to overcome this, and you know,
man, we
seen the Shedeur Sanders greatness we waiting on.
We seen Jackson Dart energy he brought to the team. Shedeur would do the same thing.
Yeah,
plus more.
when Shador seen Dylan Gabriel getting in that game today, man, it's like another blow to him. It's like, man, I gotta sit here and watch this. They still don't want to put me in the game, and it's like, man, but yeah, man, Coach Prime hit me up, man. He checked on me, man, and he loved, he loved when we get on the shows and do our thing, man. He loves the energy. So, man, y'all expect me and Coach Prime to get back on there soon. I was hoping he was gonna win. I was gonna hit him up and we would have chopped it up this week, man. We'd have had a lot to talk about, about the BYU game. But we're gonna we'll bring some entertainment to y'all soon. Have a little fun, man, and bring that, that Florida energy by way of Texas, man. But yeah, man, it was Sunday night, man. We got Monday night tomorrow, man. A couple of games going on tomorrow, man, and we'll be back. And tomorrow, man, we're gonna talk about Travis Hunter as well, man, and what the Jacksonville Jaguars are doing with him. And it's not right, man, but they got a victory. They shouldn't even draft Travis Hunter, to tell you the truth, but you should let somebody else deal with him. So, man, that's Sunday Night Vibes, man. Thank y'all for rocking out with us, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, and always subscribe, share the live, do all that good stuff, man. Always support, man. They try to hold us back, man. We got to keep fighting through the algorithm and things like that, man, because, for some reason, man, somebody trying to blackball you, boy. But we going to fight. We're going to keep fighting.
Let's go. Make sure y'all subscribing, man.
Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe. Say what needs to be said. It's Sunday Night Vibes. I'm your boy, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel.
It's your boy, 2-3 Drees.
And we're going to see y'all next time, baby. We are out of here.